Hi there, and thank you everybody for joining today's session. My name is Chris Phillip, and I'm the events coordinator at the Tentacle Zone, which is an initiative by Payload Studios. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to be talking about the Tentacle Zone Incubator, which is our latest initiative. We are looking to help up to 8 game dev studios and game developers who come from underrepresented backgrounds by giving them access to a 4-month program of tailored talks, events, as well as networking and access to our own community of studios at the Tentacle Zone. So what is the Tentacle Zone? We started back in 2016. It's an initiative by Payload Studios, and they are the studio behind Teratek. At first, it was a way to group together with other studios to save costs and get a better place on the show floor at EGX. But since then, we've helped about 200 developers from all around the world to showcase their games. Through these shows, the aim was to have independent developers help each other. So the Tentacle Zone grew as a community, and that's what our founders thought about when they took up residency in their current office. They moved to a bigger than needed office and had a few other companies join them. And that's how the Tentacle Zone workspace came to be. And that's when I came into the picture as well. Since the pandemic started, however, we've moved all of our events online, and we have run over 50 events between panels with experts, deep dives, and roundtables for the 8 game companies in our community. This has been run in parallel to Game On, Payload's diversity and inclusion initiative, which was started in 2019 to promote inclusion and diversity in our studio, as well as the wider games industry. As part of the initiative, we run a series of inclusion-focused events with the aim of catalyzing change via knowledge sharing and amplifying the voices of underrepresented groups. And that's what the Tentacle Zone Incubator is all about as well. It's a 4-month incubator program for up to 8 founders from underrepresented groups, early stage studios, and independent developers. Thanks to our partners, we can make this possible. But if you have any questions regarding the Game On initiative as well as the Tentacle Zone Incubator, I'm here to answer your questions, and I can also introduce you to my colleague Scully, who runs the Game On initiative, and my colleague Nisha, who's our program director, and she runs the Tentacle Zone Incubator. Now, what I wanted to go through a little bit is to show you what the incubator is about, and also to go through the application form. So I'm just going to share my screen. And one thing that I wanted to mention is that the deadline for applying is next Wednesday, the 24th of February at 5 p.m. So please do apply before the deadline. I also wanted to mention that the incubator is available to anybody from an underrepresented group within the UK, as well as the +/- 2 GMT time zone. So these are some of the groups that we are looking to support, but they don't include all of them. So if you do believe that you come from an underrepresented background in the games industry, do apply. The Tentacle Zone Incubator in and of itself has 5 tracks, and these have been curated with our partners. So they are business and finance, team building, design, development and production, marketing and PR, and pitching and public speaking support. And the way that we are curating these is that each week you're going to get a talk from one of these tracks, and we are looking to work with you in order to understand your needs better with the up to 8 companies who make it through into the incubator. So we'll make sure to provide as tailored a support as possible for you. And they don't necessarily just include talks, so somebody talking at you, but also we have workshops planned, we have panels, roundtables, and mentorship. And I'll get into the mentorship bit in a second, because that's a big part of the program itself. So we are going to match each company that is selected for the incubator, or each developer that's selected for the incubator, and match them with one or more mentors based on their needs. Some of their mentors might help them in a one-to-one mentorship capacity throughout the program, becoming your mentor and helping you through the processes that you need to take in order to improve your game and your business, or they might be expert mentors who are going to give you pinpointed advice in order to solve certain problems. So things as employment contracts, or getting an introduction to an investor, or having a look over your pitch deck and giving you feedback. Now, in addition to the mentorship bit of it, we will also introduce you to publishers and investors. And while we can't guarantee any sort of publishing deal or investment deal, what we can make sure is that you get familiar to how investors work and how publishers work. And hopefully you'll have a better time the next time you pitch to either of them. In addition to this, you will get access to our Tentacle Zone residents, the 8 companies that I mentioned before, and who you can learn more about on the Tentacle Zone website. These are some absolutely amazing companies that we have the privilege of and pleasure of hosting within the Tentacle Zone, and we'll have experts from each of them either run talks or just be there if you have questions that they can answer. So something that I wanted to mention was that due to our partners and friends at the University of Greenwich, the course is CPD accredited, so you're going to get a certificate at the end of this, and everything is going to be recorded, so you're going to have access to the recordings after they happen. Something that I wanted to mention here, and I know that I mentioned game businesses in the past, what I mean is we're looking for for independent game developers who want to take their game to the next step. You don't need to have a business registered, and you don't need to have things like a business plan or a marketing plan completely set out, right? It helps if you do, but we're looking for people who want to take their they take their game idea, or who want to take their product to the next stage, and that's who we're looking for. Another thing that is important to mention is that you don't need um, how do I put this best? You don't need to quit your job in order to take part. We are looking for a time commitment from the participants of 1 to 4 hours a week. And we are looking into ways of making sure that the content can be interacted with outside of normal working hours. So we do keep in mind that most or at least some of you are going to want to apply, but you already have a full-time job. So we're going to try and figure out how to make this work around that, if that is the case. So now I just like to go through the application process, and I'm going to also share the application form with you in a second. So the application process is you fill in a form, and then all of the forms that qualify are going to be shortlisted, and our partners are going to have a look at it, and then at all of the applications. Afterwards, all of the applicants are going to be notified of the decision, and the successful applicants join the incubator. We're aiming for this to take about 2 weeks. So let's have a look at the application form itself. This is how it's going to look like for you. It has a few sections, but I'm just going to look at it unfurled. So first, we're going to need an email address from you, and ideally, it would be good to have a few things prepared. Please don't forget that the deadline is the 24th of February at 5 p.m. GMT. Then we're going to need some details about you, your name, your job title. You can just use founder or whatever it is that your professional title is, the country that you are based in, and then if you're in the UK, we're going to need the county and the postcode that you're based in, and the phone number so that we can contact you if urgent things show up. Then we're going to need to know what underrepresented group do you identify with, and then we're going into details about your studio. It would be good to have a name, as well as the address of your business. If you're not a registered business, just add your address here, and then we're going to need to have a look at your website or Twitter, and need to know a bit more about whether or not you've released any games under the studio, as well as your studio's funding status. Then we're looking to learn more about your game and your business and vision, and this really is where you get a chance to shine and tell us all about your future plans, as well as about your team, the type of support that you're seeking to get from the program, any previous games that you have made or that your team has made, and the game that you're currently working on, a bit about the marketing plans that you have, the production timeline, the key challenges that your company is facing. And these are going to be specifically things that we are looking for, that we are looking at in order to tailor our program further, and your ambitions for scaling your business. Now, we understand that not everybody might be able to fill in or want to fill in this verbose form in typing. So we are also offering you the possibility of answering to this question, to this section using a video. All you need to do is record yourself answering the questions in no less than 10 minutes, and then upload that as unlisted on YouTube and paste the link here, or Vimeo, or another platform of your choice. Just make sure that you're happy with whatever the privacy preferences are that you set for the video, and share that with us. And that's it. That's the form. Lastly, we have some really, really amazing mentors. Do have a look at them, and you can find them all on our website. We are also getting new people joining the incubator program every day. So these are people who you're going to meet, who you can ask questions, and who are going to be there for you if you need help. The program doesn't cost anything. Thanks to our partners, we are able to offer the up to 8 seats for free to all the participants. And I would just like to say thank you to everybody who is making this possible, because without our amazing partners, it just couldn't exist. Because of their support, we can offer the program to the eight founders and independent developers free of charge. So thank you to the Tonic Group, Creative England, Creative Enterprise, Greenman Gaming, Yuki, and the University of Greenwich. As I mentioned before, the incubator is CPD accredited by the University of Greenwich, and with them specifically, we consulted a lot in preparation of this program, since they have a significant experience with students who are part of the underrepresented groups who we hope to help. And that's mostly it. Generally, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on Twitter at Tentacle Zone. And if you have any questions, so this is us. If you have any questions, please reach out either on Twitter or at incubator@tentacle.zone. I'm going to stop my screen share now and going to have a look in Huva for any questions that might have come up. So we have a question here from Benedict. I've seen many games at the Tentacle Zone in events like EGX and Insomnia. Aside from the required game, what would you recommend developers have at their table? This would be a question about the shows and expos that we have had the Tentacle Zone at, and generally, so the talk I'm giving now and the incubator itself doesn't include any expo bits. We are going to release more information about the Tentacle Zone at expos as soon as we have more information about the ongoing pandemic and shows and how they're going to operate. But in general, having been a volunteer at a few of these shows, not always with the Tentacle Zone, my advice has always been to make sure that you know what your purpose is. Are you there to sell your game, to make actual sales? Are you there to collect email addresses? Are you there to get people to wishlist your game? And then work backwards from that. Say, for example, if you want people to wishlist your game, maybe facilitate them logging into Steam and pressing the wishlist button. If you're there to collect email addresses, maybe have a form at the end where people can add their email address and sign up with all of the GDPR bits. Okay, thank you everybody for the opportunity.